What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. Look, you know the news, you know what we're going to be talking about, you know where we're at, so let's get straight into it. I'm not going to hang around tonight. Virgil Van Dijk looks like he's going to be out for the season, folks. There's, of course, some people who are being optimistic, and I love to see any optimism here, that talk about the fact that maybe it's not as serious, maybe he'll be back a little bit sooner, but look, we'll go into it in as much detail as we can throughout tonight's stream. We will, of course, look back over yesterday's game against Everton as well, and lots of other stuff. So I hope that you're all well. I hope that, if it's possible, some of the anger has calmed down from yesterday, because look, a lot of times as football fans, we're hypocrites and we bemoan decisions sometimes that we don't get that other clubs get, but this is a different level of stuff altogether. And I'm sure that you've seen the articles floating around, Melissa Reddy and the likes, that Liverpool have written to the Premier League just to get some clarification on those decisions yesterday. Look, I don't know if that'll change anything. I don't know if Pickford will get any retroactive punishment or whatever, but at the end of the day, we are where we are. Let's get stuck into it tonight. Let's talk about it. Let's vent if we need to vent with each other. That's what we're here for. And as always, I hope that you're all safe and well wherever you are. I hope your loved ones are well, and I really appreciate you giving up your evening to come in here to have a chat with me. And just watching here in the background, imagine the paying the £15 to watch a 0-0 draw Villa-Leicester so far. It wouldn't go down well if that was the case. Right, ladies and gentlemen, look, how are we? Lovely to see you all in the chat tonight. Now, I want to start off with a couple of things. Firstly, I want to start off with something on a personal level. Anyone who's on Twitter will probably see, and I'm pulling away from Twitter for the time being because I'm used to getting pops taken at me. It's par for the course. I understand that, and I usually take it with a smile and on the chin. But of all the opposition fans that I've personally dealt with over the past 2.5 years of doing this channel, the Everton fans have just gone to a different level of scumbaggery. It is, and I don't want to tar everybody with the same brush. I'm not accusing every Everton fan of being an arsehole, but there's more than I can cope with, put it that way. So the level of abuse that I've received in a 48-hour period where my wife's brother was in having an operation to have something removed that needs to be biopsied. It was a pretty big operation. She's nervous, she's worried. And then I have my wife and daughter upset because of all the stuff they've seen on social media. Now look, as I said, I can take it. I'm no problem with me. I'll take this shit in the chin and move on. But when it starts affecting my wife and my daughter, I start to take it a little bit personally. So my disdain for Everton fans has gone to a new level. And I don't want to tar all of them with the one brush, but honestly, the level of shit that has been thrown at me, my family, over the last 24 hours has been nothing short of disgusting. So I wanted to have a chat with you guys on here about it, because I basically don't want you, if you're on social media, to rise to it. Just leave it be. Let them be as sick and twisted as some of them seem to be. I know that meeting people in real life and what happens on Twitter and social media are completely different at times. And again, I tried to yesterday when I finished that game say very clearly, I've nothing against Everton for that game. I've nothing against the referee. It was all down to David Coote and the VAR for me. But, you know, we are where we are, folks, and it is what it is. It's I'm genuinely appalled at some of the stuff I've read. Even some of the stuff that hasn't been aimed at me. Just some of the stuff about, you know, it's never your fault. All that kind of stuff. From people from the city of Liverpool as well, some of it. It makes me sad, and it just goes above and beyond. Look, I'm not going to dwell on it because we've got enough to get through tonight. We want to talk about Virgil Van Dijk. We want to talk about Thiago and that as well. But basically, I've got no time for anything Everton at this moment in time. So if anybody Everton pops into the chat, move them immediately, mods. Just kick them out. I don't give a shit how many of them come in. Just kick them all out. I don't care if they're the nicest person in the world. Just kick them out, because I'm not wasting my time dealing with them. Scum is what I've had to deal with over the past 24 hours. Absolute fucking scum. And I can't think of any other words. Again, not tarring all Everton fans with the same brush, but I will on this stream. They're not welcome. It's as simple as that. What else have we got? Craig, I'm sorry to hear that. It's only sport. No need for personal insults. Look, it is what it is. So, let's talk about David Coote yesterday, the VAR official who was in charge of the game, who made these big decisions in Stockley Park. Just a bit of a heads up for people who are unaware, he was also the VAR when we were at Manchester United last season at Old Trafford. You know, that contentious goal that United scored, the breakaway goal where Origi was fouled. Guess who was in the VAR room that day? Guess who was berated by Andy Robertson at the end of a game fairly recently, and stood there with a bit of a, I won't say smirk on his face, but a bit of an expression on his face at the time. And guess it was in the VAR room yesterday for the two contentious decisions that weren't given. Firstly, we've got the offside decision that ended in Virgil van Dijk getting scissor challenged by Jordan Pickford. which has, of course, now obviously had confirmation that Van Dijk looks like he's out for the season. While we're on that, David Maddock has said Liverpool confirmed Van Dijk to have surgery on serious knee injury, which will sideline him for several months. Club will wait for surgery before putting time in his recovery, so haven't yet ruled out return this season. Injury thought to be the most serious grade 3 ACL tear. Now, nothing confirmed yet by the club with regards to exactly what level of ACL tear this is, nor am I a medical expert, and I'm not going to even try and claim to have any knowledge on this stuff. But what we can say for certain is we're going to be without Virgil van Dijk for the foreseeable future for a challenge that I'm hearing mixed things on. So some media are saying that David Koo just forgot to check for the red card, and others are saying that he checked for the red card and that he just thought it wasn't red card worthy. Now, to think that that's not red card worthy is an embarrassment to the sport, to other officials who tried to ref the game with integrity. I'm going to go a step further and say David Koo has something against Liverpool, some agenda against Liverpool, and I'm allowed to say that because I'm a fan and it's an opinion. Thankfully, this is one of the good things about being on YouTube, is we can say stuff a little bit more controversial because it's just an opinion, and my opinion is that David Koo intentionally fucked us over. But it is what it is, and we have to move on from it, ladies and gents. We have to brush ourselves down, refocus, and look ahead to the rest of the season. There is some good news in this scenario, by the way. It looks like Thiago, it's a minor injury. You're going to miss the Ajax game, but fingers crossed he should be ready for the one after that. So, which it seems to be Sheffield United, by the way. Sorry, I was getting a little bit ahead of myself there. There's been a goal in the Villa game. Aston Villa have scored right in the 90th minute there against Leicester. Ross Barkley actually from the edge of the box. But to go back to the Thiago stuff, thankfully it looks like he'll be okay. Now we'll go through in detail tonight what options are available to Jurgen Klopp, what we can and can't do with regards to centre-back partnerships, and of course we'll look ahead to the January window as well. I know I've spoken a lot at the start of this stream tonight without dipping into the chat, and I'm going to do that now, but I just wanted to give you a flavour of what the last 24 hours has been like. But yeah, and Connor, you're watching, mate, don't worry, I'll give you your full Van Dijk segment in a minute, mate. Right, what have we got? Coots is a disgrace, said captain, fuck Everton Clun. That was a red card, and it was not. It was absolutely a red card, Imran, no doubt about it. And we haven't even spoken about Richarlison yet, that little scumbag, and his fucking antics, and his posting the challenge on social media. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, yeah, you'll win brownie points with the Everton fans, I'm sure, but that is not the act of a professional. That is, the challenge was rightly given a red card. Fair play to Thiago, by the way, for being able to see out that game. Even just walking around the pitch, he was trying to make things tick with his passing and that. So, yeah, massive shout out to Thiago for having the courage and the guts to get through the rest of that game. Yeah, look, I'm going to see what you guys have to say about it. Villa's still the only team with a 100% record, said Connor as well, which is testament to how well Dean Smith has got them playing this season, and how well that they've bought in the summer. So congratulations to Villa, thoroughly. I've you know me on here, I always call it as I see it. Pickford apologised to Virgil van Dijk, said Cube. That's good. I mean that's you always want to see that in these scenarios. It's really difficult on here because I don't ever think that any professional footballer intentionally wants to go out and hurt another footballer. I don't think Jordan Pickford in his mind when he was coming out there said I'm going to end Van Dijk's season. I just refuse to think that's the case. He made the rash challenge. It's then over to the officials to deal with it, and look, they just didn't deal with it. Bottled it, cheated us, whatever you want to call it. I mean, each to their own. We all have different views on this. We're all at different levels of fume right now. Richarlison has to be banned as well as Pickford. I would imagine Richarlison probably looking at a 3-game ban. And that was an instant red. The referee made the right call there. VAR checked it, of course. It was given the go ahead because it was a blatant red card. There was no ifs, ands or buts about that one. The cynic in me would put to bed the rumours that Thiago could be badly injured too. So when it was just Van Dijk, we had some positive news. Thiago, I don't know, Connor, about that. Sorry, I'm just trying to process that information. I don't know if that would have been the case, but you know, we'll wait and see. Anyway, there's loads for us to get to with regards to what... Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place here tonight. I'm not going to lie, I'm still a little bit on tilt from yesterday, if any poker players out there will know what I mean by that. Pat Panisar, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Said, sad news about Virgil van Dijk. Wishing the big man a speedy recovery. Let's be positive and hope he is back sooner rather than later. Absolutely, mate. And look, shout out to some opposition fans as well. I've seen a lot of United fans, some Chelsea fans and the like on social media today, who were wishing him a speedy recovery. I mean, I seen Drawdy from the United stand making a good point, saying, look, Van Dijk is out. He wishes him a speedy recovery, but this blows the title race wide open. And you know what? It probably does. It probably makes it an even more interesting title race right now. Am I going to be as arrogant as I have been about Liverpool going back-to-back? Probably not, to be honest with you, but I'm still backing us to win the league title this year because I'm backing the lads to rally around and do it for Virg. But look, there's loads for us to go through. So I want to see how you're all feeling, and then I'll go through and give you my thoughts on it. If United get a penalty after the final whistle and 3 points, I want the point after the review. Look, we're not getting the points. That's done deal. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. We move on. And we have to sort it. We have to make sure that we go out there and that we put it right on the pitch, where's the only place the players can put it right. Craig, upload the live stream on Spotify as a podcast. Connor mentioned that to me as well. I mean, it's no problem to do that. Pulling the audio from the streams that we do are absolutely sound, and we were playing around with the idea of a podcast as well. So I appreciate the input, mate, and leave it with me. It is something we'll look at. Right, what else have we got? We'll get... sorry, what's the point of VAR if they aren't going to make the wrong decisions anyway, said Alex Bardas, excuse me, mate. Yeah, that's just... I don't want to be on here sounding like I'm bitter about the result. Yesterday, I'm more concerned about Virgil van Dijk and Thiago and David Koo. I really had nothing against Everton until the way their fans acted towards me yesterday, and now... Genuinely, I've just got no time for them. I'm not going to interact with them in any way. I block every single one of them that comes near me. I put my account on private on Twitter, just so, I can just be myself. Do you think the VVD injury could push us to bring in Upamecano in the January window? Yes, that's what I wanted to lead to, and thank you for the super chat, Bradley. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are enjoying the stream, by the way, please do hit that subscribe button. We're on the march to 55k. As you can see, we've gone past 53. Thank you so much for that. That means the world to us and our community on here. Right, let's talk about the Virgil van Dijk situation then. It's easy in hindsight for any of us, myself included, to look and say that we should have acted in the summer window. We made a calculated risk, I think, when we didn't bring in another centre-back. Now, obviously, worst case scenario was after coming to fruition. Virgil van Dijk looks like he's out for the entire season, possible grade 3 that we spoke about earlier on. So where do we go from here then is the situation. I still think there are options available to Jurgen Klopp. Now, the January window, I fully agree with what everybody says. We probably do need to try and go in there and get Upamecano. If Upamecano was the plan for next summer. However the plan was for next summer, I do think that Liverpool should look to speed that up in January, if at all possible. Now, if it is Upamecano, as an example, Leipzig could be in a race in the Bundesliga. They could be in the Champions League still. And they may not want to let a defender of that calibre go mid-season. In fact, they probably won't. Who would want to let a defender of that calibre go mid-season? So it would probably take a clever piece of work by Michael Edwards, maybe paying a little premium on top of what would be his €40 million buyout clause that comes into effect next summer. So look, that's from Michael Edwards and the geniuses that do the Liverpool transfers to sort out. Naveen, thank you for the super chat, said now VVD is out, is our season over? I'm devastated. No, the season isn't over, of course. Are we going to miss Virgil van Dijk? 100%. Any club in the world would miss a centre-back of the calibre of Virgil van Dijk. And has it blown the title race wide open? Yes, I would agree with any opposition fan that thinks that this has moved the title race a little bit closer and that it could be more of a battle this season. You've got, obviously, Liverpool, you've got Manchester City, Spurs looking a bit better. I mean, I know they threw away a 3-goal lead today, but, if they can get it together, they look decent. Obviously, Manchester United will fancy a little bit of a spring in their step yesterday, a late win. Fair play to them, 4-1. It could be a very close title race. But let's get back to the Van Dijk situation right now. We have a couple of options available to the manager. What I would suggest is that we drop Fabinho back and partner him alongside Joel Matip now and have have Joe Gomez as the option to come in and rotate. It's not ideal. It's not perfect. And it's not what a lot of people will want. I just want to check on a super chat here, 1 second. I'm backing Matip or Fabinho to drop in and perform with the champion, said Blue. Thank you for that, mate. I'm the same. That would be my preferred option. If we were going into a big game now against United or whatever, my option would be to drop Fabinho back, especially now that we know Thiago is only a short-term injury, thank goodness. Have Thiago there to play with Jordan Henderson and Gini Wijnaldum. Maybe give Hendo the freedom a bit more that he had when Thiago was playing yesterday. You could see Hendo got a bit more freedom on the right-hand side. And then you still have Joe Gomez in there, and we don't forget, we still have the young lads, Billy Cometio and the like as well, to Reece Williams, who can come in and do a job. But there are things that we're going to miss that we can't replace. We're going to miss Virgil van Dijk's passing ability. That's something that has been very important to the way that we attack, the way that we defend. We're going to miss that without a shadow of a doubt. Are there players in there that can do what he does? Not really, not to the same extent. Obviously Trent can, fantastic range of passing from him. And Joel Matip is very good at carrying the ball forward as well. So maybe we'll have to look at how we set up a little bit differently. Maybe the way we attack. Maybe Thiago coming in could actually be the catalyst to play through the middle a little bit more. Give him a bit more of the ball and give opposition fans, or opposition clubs I should say, a different option to think about when we are on the attack. So that's what I would suggest may happen. It's the obvious thing just to drop Fabinho back and then use Joe Gomez as and when needed. But I suppose the big question arises then, is Joe Gomez and Joe Matip rather injury prone, I think it's fair to say. So if one of them picks up an injury, then yeah, we could be in trouble. Sorry, I'm just trying to check something here. I'm just trying to check who somebody is, 1 second. Alan O'Brien, what have you got to say, buddy? He said, time to drop the high line defence, Craig. It's a good question. It is a very good question, mate. I think potentially we could drop a few yards deeper, mate. It depends on how much faith Jurgen Klopp has, I suppose, in the players that are there. I've spoken about the high line defence a good few times this week because it was a very well discussed topic after the defeat by Aston Villa. And that needs a press from the front and a press from midfield. And we got that. In fairness, against Everton, I thought our press was very good. I actually thought we played well against Everton. It was the performance I was looking for after that defeat against Villa. But it's going to be intriguing. I mean, I haven't got all the answers. It's going to be intriguing to see how the gaffer tweaks this. Little bit of a change of scenery, maybe going and playing away in Europe will give the lads a bit of a breather and a little bit of new focus. Obviously they're going to be G'd on by the fact that they're going to want to do it for Van Dijk. They're going to want to go out and do something, win trophies this season for the big man. It's tough. It is tough, there's no doubt about it. And to see some of the sick fuckers on social media celebrating it. I mean, you're not a football fan if you're celebrating this type of stuff. How many times have you seen us on this channel or many other channels? I've always said it. Any game you watch, I always say, I hope he gets up. I never want to see a player injured. I never wish injury on any player. De Bruyne, as an example, first one I was on here wishing him well, wishing him a speedy recovery. That's the way we should be as football fans. We're competitive when we're playing against each other, but there are human aspects to this stuff as well. And yeah, look, I understand that this makes the title race a bit closer. I understand that people maybe secretly even could be a little bit happy about the situation, but to be publicly celebrating it, that takes a special kind of human being to do that. There was somebody I'm trying to figure out, there was a mod that removed somebody and I'm trying to figure out who it is, so bear with me 1 second. I'm dropping back up, John, to try and read through your comments. I can't find it, John. Sorry. And the answer is no, John. We don't have a new mod that I'm aware of anyway. Craig, do you think VVD will make the Euros? No. If he doesn't play for Liverpool, there's no way Liverpool are rehabbing him and letting him go out and play in the Euros in Holland, mate. The only way Virgil van Dijk will go and play in the Euros is if he gets game time for Liverpool, gets back to fitness before the end of the season. There's no way that Liverpool are going to rehab him and then send him off in the summer to start playing football again with Holland. I'd be absolutely blown away if that was the case. Do you think Hendo can do a job at centre-back? That's a great question. Yes, he has played there before. Look, we often speak on here about, and not just on here, of course, a lot of Liverpool fans speak about the versatility of Liverpool's players. And it's one of the things that helps in these type of situations. Yes, it wouldn't be ideal, but of course, Hendo could play in there. Of course, Fabinho could play in there. Gomez, Matip. Yes, but again, it wouldn't be ideal. I like Hendo pushing a bit forward on that right hand side. He's got a bit of a zip in his step, able to whip a ball in from that right hand side with Trent bombing down the wing as well. It gives them two people to think about when we're in attack. So for me, I like the idea of Thiago a little bit deeper and Hendo forward on that right hand side a bit. But yeah, he could do it, and if we really needed it. Virgil will get his medal when we retain the league. He's got 5 games. Connor mentioned that to me earlier on, Edmund. And Connor also mentioned another fact. If Liverpool manage to do it this season and go and win the Premier League title, there will be no more bantering Liverpool. We will have won it without the greatest defender in the world if we go and do it this season. So it's interesting. It's definitely going to be tougher, but it's our job to stick together. And look, I want to talk to you for a second about social media. A lot of people have been very offended over the past 24 hours by some of the stuff that they've seen online from opposition fans, particularly Everton fans over the last 24 hours. And what I would say to you is please don't rise to it on social media. Please don't bite to what they're saying. Report them, block them, and move on, because they don't deserve the time of day. They don't deserve to impact you, particularly if you're somebody that may take Twitter into your real life. You may get, like Twitter, I used to get really angry on Twitter, and I'd come off Twitter and it would infect, I should say, how I talk to my wife and stuff. I'd be a little bit more on edge. So what I would say is, the people that we have in this group, the subscribers that we have on this channel, I know from interacting with you guys on a daily basis that you are absolutely fantastic people who wish nothing but the best on each other and other people. So look, don't rise to it. Just leave them be. Rise above it. I know it's easier said than done. I find myself biting at times when I shouldn't bite. But just don't let them. Just leave them stew in their own vile disgustingness. I don't even know how to phrase it. I'm so angry. What have we got? Pickford's tackle was a legal one. I'm hoping that that's just lost in translation somewhere, mate. That you meant to say illegal, because it was barely legal in UFC, if it is even legal in UFC. The authorities revisit and have Pickford punished, said Willie. I don't know. Craig, you're a good role model for us, said Chanzo the man. I don't claim to be a role model for anybody, mate. And I am me. If people like me or dislike me, I've no problem with that, mate. I'm here to be ridiculed, or I'm here to be liked one way or the other. I'm certainly not a role model, nor do I claim to be. I just try to do things in an honest way. We're blessed with versatility, so Jordan O'Riordan we are. Look, there's over 1,000 people in the chat right now, folks. If you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. Drop a like on the stream as well. Yeah, it will genuinely mean a lot to us to keep this moving on. The numbers that we've had over the past few months have been incredible, so thank you so much for your support. Right, Thiago. Let's have a talk about Thiago for a second. Great news that it's not as serious as we had feared. Obviously, any player getting injured for any length of time is something you want to avoid, but we do have another option, as I said, available to us now with Thiago in midfield, and the fact that we've managed to keep Gini Wijnaldum. I mean, Barcelona probably wanted to come in January. There was talk of them looking to go get Gini Wijnaldum, Memphis Depay to strengthen them up in the January window. I don't think Liverpool are going to let Gini go in this window now with the situation we're in. Gini will run down his contract. If he doesn't agree now, he'll move on next summer, and we'll wish him all the best. But there's no way right now that Klopp is going to allow that to happen. This has actually been a small bit of a bonus, if we can take any bonus from this scenario, is that we do have extra options now to drop Fabinho back because of the cover we have in central midfield. Gini Wijnaldum, James Milner, Jordan Henderson, Thiago. We'll have Chamber back from injury. We've got Curtis Jones as well, who maybe he'll get a little bit more game time, and I'm sure he'll seize it with both hands if he gets the chance. And another bit of good news, by the way, is, and it's again, it seems strange talking about good news when you're talking about player injuries, but the news on Alisson seems to be very positive as well. There's a lot of optimism that he may be back towards the latter part of this month or very early next month, which is brilliant news. A little bit ahead of schedule. We'll take any positives we can get at this point, folks. Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm all over the place today. It is a strange one, to say the least. Paul Catterall says they're both going for the ball. Bullshit. Sorry, Paul, that is just nonsense, mate. No, Pickford ain't going for the ball there. The ball's gone and Pickford comes in, legs wide open onto Van Dijk's leg. That's not going for the ball, mate. And trying to say that Pickford could have just as easily been damaged, that's just false. The way you've worded that, mate, I don't think you have any smart arse intentions. You genuinely seem to have taken the time to write a fairly decent post there, but I disagree with you, is what I'm trying to say, Paul. I think that definitely they weren't both going for the ball. I don't think any footballer would ever intentionally go out to injure another one, but there was definitely not two people going for the ball there. There was only one person interested in the ball, and then the other fellow was interested in clattering into Virgil Van Dijk. That's all I've got to say on that. What else we got? Is Kane back? He should be back very soon, yes. Again, difficult to talk about that situation. I think we should sign Koulibaly. We will not sign Koulibaly, mate. It's just the wrong profile of signing for us. Klopp doesn't think short term. We might think that a whole season isn't short term, but in the lifespan of a football club, it is relatively short term. Koulibaly's getting on in years. The likes of Upamecano would make far more sense, mate. You know roughly what price range you'd have to pay to bring him in. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be possible to do that in January. The club may have to do something else, and like everyone else, I'm going to monitor the situation, see what comes out from the club. But first and foremost, we need Van Dijk's operation to go well. We need to hear some good news there, and of course, our thoughts are always with Big Virg in this scenario. Yeah, I'm still just baffled at how VAR made such a mess of that yesterday, that challenge. And then we'll talk about the Sadio Mane goal as well if you want, because there's no way on God's green earth that was offside. It was complete and utter shithousery from David Coote in the VAR room. It's just not offside. I'm sorry, it is what it is. It robbed Hendo of a match-winning goal in the derby. The whole conversation then would have been about Pickford messing up right at the end again, a shot that he should have saved, and the narrative around the game would have been entirely different. So we spoke before yesterday. People said, would you be happy to take a point? And I told you it was about how that point came about, and it came about in a way that I think none of us are happy with yesterday. We took the lead twice. In fairness, Everton pegged us back twice. Credit to them. Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored a very good goal. Aerially, he just is phenomenal, actually, to give him credit. And Mohamed Salah with a cracker for us as well. And it just deserved that moment at the end. The game deserved it. And I'm being ridiculed for my celebration, which is sound, no problem with that. That's par for the course. But it's robbing football fans of these moments. You're afraid to let yourself go and celebrate because you don't know what's going to happen. I didn't, in the moment, think in any way, shape or form that could be or would be pulled back for anything. It looked like a situation that developed naturally, and Hendo scored and it was all sound. I was shocked to see that there was even a call on VAR, and then to see the VAR lines drawn the way that they were, one line rather fat, one line rather skinny. I'm a bit suspect about those lines, put it that way. And Klopp then to say he went into the dressing room afterwards and everybody was huddled around the laptop and they were looking at it, and there was just no way it was offside. It just was not offside. And look, it's easy for opposition fans to come in and have a crack at us, but as I say so many times on this stream, and regular viewers will know, as football fans at times we need to step outside of this. We need to sometimes think of as a collective, because the sport that we all love, all of us, we're all here because we love the sport, whether you're a Liverpool fan, United fan, whoever you might support. The sport that we all love is being drastically changed. And it's Liverpool this week, it'll be somebody else next week, and somebody else the week after. This stuff needs to be nipped in the bud. The handball rule is an absolute farce as it is. They're changing it every couple of weeks, it seems, at this point. It just needs to be forced through. We need to speak up as football fans and just let it be known that we're not going to let this level of shithousery come in a week that we've already seen this pay-per-view nonsense come out, when fans are already struggling to afford to live. A lot of people to afford to pay the bills, to keep a roof over their head, to have the heat on in the winter. So then we've got the shithousery about the £15. Now, a little inside story on the £15. As you know, the EFL have been doing this, and the EFL's price is a tenner. Premier League clubs asked the television companies could they go with a tenner, and the response that they got was no, it's £15. That's what we need. I don't know how they need the £15 against the £10. I don't agree with any of the pay-per-view stuff, to be honest with you, but it's just another sign of greed. And look, a lot of people talking about match fixing and all this stuff. I don't want to go into it that deep personally. I just think that there are referees in England who, one, have biases against other clubs. And every football club will name you, or every football fan will name you a referee or two that they don't like refereeing their games. For Liverpool, obviously, Martin Atkinson, very straightforward. Other clubs have other referees that they dislike for varying reasons, whether it be all in their heads or whether it be true. But one thing I think we can all as football fans agree on is that the level of officiating in the Premier League as a whole is just not up to scratch. We're talking about the best league in the world here, with the most money in the world, with resources that a lot of other leagues around the world would dream of, and we still can't produce a decent standard of refereeing. I actually think Michael Oliver is the best referee in England. I stand over that fact. I don't hold him to anything yesterday, really, because he only gets one chance to see everything. He got the red card incident absolutely spot on. He can't make the calls on the offsides. That's down to VAR. And the Pickford incident, in real time, that must have been extremely hard for Michael Oliver to know what was going on. For him not to have been even asked to go and have a second look at it, I'll never understand how that didn't happen. But look, that's where we are at the moment, folks. I want to know your thoughts on it. If you've anything to say, get it out, vent. I'm here to share. If still take a VVD injured over a fully fit Maguire any day of the week, said Bradley Fricker. Thank you for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate you making me smile. Right, what else we got? Does anybody know who this little dude is, by the way? Let me just... we've got a new little mascot for when trolls come in to have a pop. Where is she? Where is he gone? I want to find this little dude. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There we go. Do anyone want to see our new little mascot for when we have trolls come in? There he is. Does anybody know who this little mascot is, by the way? If you go and search, he's actually a Lego character if you want to go and search it. So anyone that comes in to have a pop with us, this troll, this little lad here, he's there waiting for you. He's the one that's going to deal with you from now on. I'm not taking the time to deal with these horrible little shits anymore. So there's a new little mascot. We'll have our little dancing alien still, but this dude is there for the time being anyway as our new little troll mascot. There should be more officials in the VAR room. Again, it's difficult for that to take place as well because you've got to have officials for the game, so you need 2 lines people or assistant referees, you need a 4th official, and you need your referee. Then obviously you need the people in Stockley Park. Now you spread that out over the course of an entire Premier League weekend with referees or teams of referees travelling to and from. It just means that you'll have to have even more officials, which means they'd have to probably speed through the process of bringing through. Something that I've always liked the idea of was almost a UEFA FIFA collective of referees that go around. I know during this pandemic that's extremely difficult, but I would like to see referees around Europe go and referee in different leagues, because that way when you go to play in European competition and stuff, it's easier to expect we get more of a consistency. And probably less of an inherent bias maybe, or even a subconscious bias that some referees have against other clubs. I mean, we put up a really good clip from our interview with Paul Tompkins that's up on the channel if you guys have had a chance to look at it, that talks about Martin Atkinson, the Liverpool bias, and the entire situation around referees and refereeing decisions, but from the statistical point of view that Paul actually took the time with the Tompkins Times to go and research all these over a very long period of time. So the full interview will be out on Thursday if you guys want to watch that. We have another sneak preview coming up I think tomorrow on the channel, and then the full interview on Thursday. Paul's been kind enough as well to give us 3 copies of his book to give away, so we're going to be giving those away to somebody as well. One on Twitter, one on Instagram, and one on YouTube obviously, so make sure that you watch for information on that one. Upamecano in January is badly needed. Who wants us to go out and get Upamecano in January? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you want us to go out and get Upamecano. I'd say I'm going to get a lot of thumbs up here in the chat, to be fair. And of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, folks, and drop a like on the video as well. What is there? One other thing I wanted to talk about. 1 second. Where is it? No, I think I'm missing that, mate. Where is it gone? Yeah, sorry, I've deleted something. Right, so Alex United obviously doesn't want us to go out and get him, obviously for obvious reasons. I understand that. A lot of Liverpool fans all giving us the thumbs up. I feel for Klopp, said Mark Rashford. Gomez and Matip need our belief, support, and backed while Van Dijk is injured. Yes, Jamie, that's very well said, mate. I like that. Well in. Look, another fucking genius. Yes, mate, I look like Gru. I get it. Brilliant. That's hilarious. Did you manage that all on your own, or did you need help? I mean, 3 letters. You mean you're probably pushing your levels of ability there, but yeah, fair play, mate. You snuck that one in. Well played. But you're gone now, so I hope it was worth it. Right, yes. So we all want to get up on McCann. Now, how we go and structure this deal is going to be really interesting. Do we have to pay a premium perhaps to go into the January window to get him? Upamecano's going to United, mate. I don't think Liverpool will have money. He's definitely been linked with United, man. And all the talk for next summer was that Liverpool and United were going to go head to head for Upamecano. So I can see where you're coming from. And look, you're right. If it came down to just an absolute financial battle, Manchester United have more money than Liverpool Football Club. Happy to sit here and admit that to you. But I think you will also be happy to say to me that behind the scenes, Liverpool is probably a little bit of a steadier ship at this moment in time. And as a project to be sold to a player, I would imagine that Liverpool's project is a little bit more appealing now than Manchester United's, albeit United are trying to get themselves back in the right direction. From my point of view, I hope they fail miserably, of course. But I'm always happy to have an open conversation, mate, with opposition fans if, they come in like you have there and just put in a genuine question. Or make a genuine statement in your case. Scott Willow 1 said, gutted for Virgil. His injury just added the wrongdoing from the officials yesterday. Get well soon, Virgil. Easy LFC SN10 said, for me, back 3, Fabinho, Matip, Gomez. That's really pushing it though, mate. If you're gone with a back 3 and any of them picks up an injury, then what do you do? So you're basically taking the risk of playing another centre-back then, which I don't think is the right call right now. I said to you guys during the summer, if we were ever to move to a back 3, or a back 5 obviously, it's a back 3 in the attack and a back 5 in defence. So if we were to ever move to that, you'd want to have 5 or 6 centre-backs ready to go, because you need cover in every position. So I can't see us moving to a back 3 when we only have 3 first choice centre-backs, including Fabinho. The Liverpool fan said, change name, mate. Sorry for the confusion from Mark. Oh, okay. Was that you? That was, yeah. Nice one, Mark. Thank you. Appreciate that. More likes needed, guys. Smash the like button. Yes, please do. Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah. Connor, you're right, mate. I've loads of stuff going through my head. Right. I'm delighted to announce that we're going to be launching our second channel on Tuesday. We're going to be doing a watch-along of PSG and Manchester United. And if you're looking for the name of the second channel, it will be in the link of this stream. There'll be a link in the description of the stream. But we've renamed our second channel. We're now going to call it Mundo Sporto. That is going to be the name of Anfield Agenda's second channel, which is where we're going to cover other sports and non-Liverpool games on there. So make sure you go over and you subscribe to Mundo Sporto as well for all your sporting needs, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be doing non-Liverpool games on there and a few other bits and pieces as well. So you may even see a few new faces along the way as well. So yeah, Mundo Sporto is Anfield Agenda's second channel. If you want to see more of what we do, if you want to see me reacting to non-Liverpool stuff, go over and sub to that as well. We'll be doing the United game on our second channel on Tuesday. It used to be called Crack On, but we've renamed it because we've decided we're going with Mundo Sporto. It's pinned to the top of the chat there now as well, if anybody wants to go over and hit the subscribe button. Thank you, Connor. I would have forgotten that. Absolutely would have, even though it's the last thing you reminded me to do before we started. Who's that young lad, Williams, VVD lookalike? Reece Williams, he's class, to be fair. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Reece Williams' development. Billy Comedio as well. Yeah, and Sepp van den Berg, another good young centre-back that Liverpool are bringing through. Smash the like button for Virgil, said Mr. Bud. Well played, mate. I like it. Well in. Has there been any news on Alisson back for Wednesday? No, he won't be back for Wednesday, K-Dot. But there has been some positive news on Alisson. It is hoped that towards the latter end of this month, early next month, we will see our big, beautiful Brazilian back in goal. So yeah, that's some good news. And again, the good news around Thiago is that it looks like he may only miss the Ajax game and could be available for the Sheffield United game. Good news as well, actually, from our point of view, is the Sheffield United game is a pay-per-view game, but not here in Ireland, because it's being shown on Premier Sports, which is part of my television package that I pay. It's part of I think it's the BT part of my subscription. So I'll be able to watch the games completely legally and completely without having to pay £14.99 or €16.99. So that's good news. I can confirm that one for you, that we'll be doing the watch along of the Sheffield United game as well. I was worried because I'm just point blank refusing to pay this $15.99 or $14.99, I should say. If they can't afford Sancho, they can't afford anyone, said Rob Salmon. Again, the Sancho deal was one that they were given a date that they had to get it done by, and they point blank didn't. Should have had Slabhead as the troll, said Sunday 0978. Has anybody figured out the name? Instantly got 40 subs, said Connor. Fair play to everybody. Love, lots of love, nothing but love. Again, that is a second channel. What do we think of the name Mundo Sporto, by the way? Are we liking it? It's Mundo Sporto was an old Twitter account that Connor and I used to have that we used to wind up people on. Connor actually put a story out on it before that Genie was being linked with Leon, and then all of a sudden there was like people putting up welcome to Leon Genie stuff on YouTube, and yeah, it was funny. But it is our second channel, and I think it's a very funny name. I'm in America, so NBC Sport and Peacock, lucky me, said Yusuf. Yes, that Peacock thing, that's a new thing for this season, isn't it, mate? I think another way to get more money out of football fans. Our rivals have had mostly bad results, said Hexboom. Yeah, outside of United, it's certainly been a weekend where some people have dropped points. Spurs today from 3-0 down to come back to draw 3-all. What a strike from Manuel Lanzini at the end of that game, by the way. Woo, unbelievable. Had everything. Top bins, through someone's legs from the edge of the box. Keeper gets a hand to it, off the underside of the bar. At least I think it went through somebody's legs. But what a goal. What a goal. What a way to get a point out of a game. Lamptey is a shout at somebody. Yeah, look, Lamptey, the Brighton right back, looks quality. But where does he get game time with us? Do you know what I mean? With Trent Alexander-Arnold there, and I know people will tell me that he's better than Neco Williams, but Neco Williams is still developing. But yes, Lamptey looks like a quality player. No argument for me on that one. And there's another link into our new channel if anybody wants to click on it there in the chat. Mundo Sporto. I think Mundo means many. I think it means world, if my memory is correct. Doesn't it mean sports world, Connor, or something like that? I don't know. It's just a name we saw sounded good. I don't have any idea of the actual meaning of it. If we can drag it out to January, Matip and Gomez, then get up a Meccano, we'll be fine, said Shea Trainer. Yes, I don't disagree with you, Shea. These players need to make sure that we're still in the title race, that we're still fighting come January, and I've no doubt that they will. I've no doubt that they'll step up now and they'll want to do it for their mate. But as Shea said, yeah, I would be hoping we get into January and look to do something. I'd like to do something very early in January, something that as soon as the window opens, we have a deal in place and it's done. It's going to be an interesting few months, ladies and gentlemen. Trent needs to move into midfield, also up the Villa. Lovely to see you win, mate, and congratulations on your win today as well, AD. Nice goal there at the end to win it. I don't want Trent to move into midfield personally, mate. I know there's every argument to say that he could do it and do it well. Played there earlier on in his career, but I just think he's in the right place now. I love Trent. And in our system, he's almost a winger anyway. Do you think Upamecano would pick Man United over Liverpool to get more game time? I think any player that looks at this Liverpool team or a United's team or whatever team will want to back themselves to be able to come in and establish themselves. I think the idea of being Virgil van Dijk's partner or long-term partner or steady partner or, central defensive partner would appeal massively to somebody like Upamecano. It would help him develop his game, obviously, whilst playing in a fantastic team with a great manager. So I don't know. Different things motivate different people. Some people are motivated by a plan. Some people are motivated by an inspirational speech. Some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by a manager who will come in and map out the next 2 or 3 years of their career for him. And I don't know Upamecano. I have no idea what motivates the guy. But I can say he's a quality centre-back. Still only 21 years of age as well. So, has a whole career ahead of him. But I don't know if he'd pick us over United. I can't answer that question for you, buddy. Upamecano or White in January, said Michael Faka. That's a good point, actually. It would be a little bit of a risk to go out and get Ben White, though, without Van Dijk there. But if it's long-term thinking, I get where you're coming from, because I've often said Ben White to me looks like a Jurgen Klopp Liverpool centre-back. But I would have loved to have seen him bought and then implemented alongside Van Dijk. But again, long-term thinking here, he would be at the club for the next 4 or 5 years minimum. So again, that's another decent shout, but I don't know if we'd be able to prize him away from Brighton. Where did the name Mundo come from? No idea. Just thought it sounded good, mate. There's no big story to it. Mundo Sporto was just the name that we came up with. I think it's probably, we played on things like Mundo Deportivo and, just names like that of other media outlets. So we just thought, fuck it, we'll go Mundo Sporto. Milner as a centre-back as a hybrid. I don't want Jimmy Milner at centre-back, mate. He hasn't got the pace to play at centre-back in our system. I can't see James Milner chasing down a pacey centre-forward if we're playing a high line. But you did say tweak to our system, I think, to be fair. Koundé or Upamecano, other alternative. Koundé was the guy that was linked, the Sevilla centre-back. Very good player. Was linked strongly with Manchester City before they went out, and brought in the guy from, wasn't it Benfica, the guy they brought in? But yes, another good shout. Koundé is a very good centre-back as well. Gomez is going to step up now, so Danny Jackson. I love that, buddy. I really do love that positivity. Ladies and gentlemen, please do hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the stream. Be lovely to see that hit 53.2 before we head off tonight. I'm going to stay on for another 10 or 15 minutes, so if you have any questions, anything you want to talk about, please do put it into the chat. And for those coming in a little bit later, let me recap the latest news that we have for you guys on Virgil van Dijk. I want to just get the... Right, so this came from David Maddock earlier on. Obviously, David Maddock, as you know, an established journalist, said Liverpool can confirm Virgil van Dijk to have surgery on serious knee injury, which will sideline him for several months. Club will wait for surgery before putting time on his recovery, so haven't yet ruled out a return this season. Injury thought to be the most serious grade 3 ACL tear. I was probably a little bit more optimistic, and somebody pointed out this to me. Joe sent me a message in the Flick chat group before we came on, and I promised Joe that I'd talk about what he mentioned. The fact that Van Dijk walked off the pitch gave me some optimism at the time, because sometimes when you see people do an ACL, like you remember when Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain did his, for instance, he was in absolute agony on the pitch, and had to be carried off on a stretcher after getting treatment on the pitch. So maybe like Joe, I was hoping that the club would come out and say that it isn't as serious as had first been thought. But if it is a grade 3 tear like that, it is serious, and I guess we'll find out more information when the operation is done and the club release a full statement on it. But I did promise Joe I'd talk about that, and I was hopeful like Joe that there was going to be some positive news, that maybe it's not as serious as we first thought, but unfortunately it looks like it is the more serious one. Again, I'm no medical expert, so I'll just have to wait for the club to come out on this one. But the good news, again, there's two bits of good news around injuries. Thiago is nothing too serious, bit of swelling, looks like he'll be back for the game against Sheffield United. He'll miss the game against Ajax on Wednesday. And then Alisson, the news is that he's recovering well, and he could hopefully be back towards the end of this month or the start of November, maybe a week or two ahead of schedule, which is fantastic news as well. You think we'll need two centre-backs as Matip is injury prone? Not really, mate, because as fans we think about this a little bit differently. If the club were to go out now and buy two centre-backs, that's two centre-backs to come in, let's say when Van Dijk gets fit and ready, so then we'd have two centre-backs, Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip, on top of the route through for the likes of Billy Comedio, Sepp van den Berg and Reece Williams, who would look at that and go, hang on, my pathway is now blocked. So one centre-back I think would be enough, supplemented obviously by the likes of Firmino dropping back and playing there. Who would you like to be a third choice? Comedio, Sepp Phelps. For me right now, as I said at the start of the stream, I'd have Gomez as the third choice. I'd have Firmino playing beside Matip now as a centre-back pairing. That's what I'd like to see. That's what I hope to see for the Ajax game and moving forward. And Joe Gomez obviously rotated in where necessary. Liverpool out in the Champions League group stage. Yeah, that's not going to happen, Mark. I mean, opposition fans really do think we're just going to fall apart here. Obviously, they don't know this group of players that Jurgen Klopp has at Liverpool Football Club. If you think that these guys are just going to roll over now and feel sorry for themselves, that's not the group of players that we have at this football club. They're going to want to ram home the fact that the Premier League champions, they're going to be determined to try and retain their title. They're going to want to go further in Europe than they did last year, and they're going to want to do it all for their mate. They're going to want to do it for Big Virg as well. So I'm not worried about our season falling apart. Yes, of course I'm worried about not having Virgil van Dijk and how it will affect us defensively, and it probably does weaken us. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I'd be an idiot to come on here and say that any team that doesn't have Van Dijk isn't weakened. But we still have a very, very, very capable squad. We've just brought in another absolute winner in Thiago. And I'm just going to back these boys to come out and fight like they always do. They fight, they don't give up, and that's what I love about them. Mentality monsters, Joanne. Absolutely spot on. Couldn't have put it any better. Partey or Hendo? Again, different strokes for different folks. It may depend on what your team needs. Arsenal needed a bit of steel in that midfield, and Thomas Partey will give them that. For us, Hendo brings something a little bit different. He's obviously got the leadership qualities. He's fairly stern in a tackle himself, but going forward, I think Hendo offers us something now on that right hand side along with Trent Alexander-Arnold. So for us, I'd say Hendo, but again, I would not mock Thomas Partey as a footballer. He's an excellent footballer. Craig, how do we set up for big games? I only suggest the back five as teams that think we're weak now and go punch. Again, right, let's say we're playing United next weekend. This is what I'd like to see. Obviously, we will have Alisson in goal eventually, but it would be Adrian for the time being. Trent at right back. I would have Fabinho and Matip as the centre-back pairing. Robbo on the left-hand side. Midfield, I'd have Thiago, Henderson, and Gini Wijnaldum or Naby Keita when he's back fit. Jimmy Milner if needs be, but my initial instinct would be to go Hendo, Thiago, Gini Wijnaldum. And then the front three, we have to have the conversation about Bobby Firmino. I think we may see Bobby Firmino rotated or rested for either the game on Wednesday or the league game against Sheffield United. Diogo Jota probably earned his chance at this point, and it's the benefit of having Diogo Jota and Takumi Minamino there, as these guys are there to push each other on. And let's see if Diogo Jota gets his opportunity, if he'll take it, or if Taki gets his opportunity. Again, that's a positive that we have these guys there. If one of the lads is a little bit down, their form dips like it seems to have with Bobby, we want to support him. Of course, the guys are there. We want to get Bobby back to his best, but if it needs Diogo Jota to come in for a little while, then have at it. Mane, Jota, Salah is what Connor reckons. Firmino should be benched and put Jota on, said Roden. I've no problem with that, and I don't like the word benched. I'd rather we go with rotated because it's a bit kinder to our own players. But yeah, look, Jota has every reason to be knocking on the manager's door, and Takumi Minamino has every reason to be knocking on the manager's door. Again, there is an argument, and a right argument, to say that Roberto Firmino does stuff that you can't measure in goal scoring, but at the end of the day, we need to give people an opportunity. We need to rotate. The front three can't play every single game. That's why you go out there and get Takumi Minamino and Diogo Jota, and Divock's there as well, of course, to help and chip in when needs be. What happened to Thiago? Yeah, I think I don't know if that's a take the piss question or a sincere one, but I'd like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, mate, so I'll treat it as a sincere one. He got a horrendous tackle from Richarlison, for which Richarlison got a red card, and Thiago got a sore knee, a swollen knee. Van Dijk will be back in late February. None of us know that, mate. None of us can know that yet because the operation hasn't been done yet. You need to see what the operation is, how he's starting to recover when the swelling goes down. Thankfully, look, with ACLs 25, 30 years ago, that could have been a career ender. Surgeries have come on, obviously medical techniques and advancements, and this have allowed players to come back. We've seen Danny Ings has had, I think, at least two that I know of ACL injuries, and another serious injury that he's come back from. Chamberlain, I'm fairly sure, has had 2 ACLs as well. So I hope that you're right. I'd love him to be back in February. I hope that we're sitting here talking about that, but the club have to plan, I suppose, for worst case scenario at this moment in time. Mr. Craig, yeah, top man. Thank you, Michael. That's very kind of you, pal. Again, please do hit that subscribe button, folks, and drop a like on the video. There's still 1,000 people in the live chat, so if you are here with us for the first time and maybe you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. And don't forget, the link to our second channel is up there at the top of the chat, Mundo Sporto. We'll be doing some watch-alongs that aren't Liverpool related throughout the season on there, as well as some other bits and pieces as well. The winner of our 50k giveaway, by the way, when I say 50k, people's eyes light up. What I mean is we hit 50k. The winner of that was Dave Sweeney, so still waiting to get in contact with Dave. He's usually in the Discord group, but I haven't seen him today. I hope he's okay and well. And Dave has won that £50 Amazon voucher, a shirt of his choice from 3 Retro, and 4 prints from Sean Leonard Art. We've got more giveaways planned for you guys, because as we always say, we want to try and give back as much as we can. 3 copies of Paul Tompkins' book is going to be given away as well, and we've got some other stuff in the pipeline we're working on. So yeah, just keep with us. Right, I'm going to do another 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm going to call it a night. We'll have to, Tom Morgan says, we'll have to be less open still. Trent and Robbo can't push forward. Trent has to be more aware and switch without getting caught. Yeah, look, Kloppo will make the tactical adjustments necessary. And they're way above my pay grade, put it that way. And I'm as intrigued as anybody else to see is if we will hold the high line, if we'll drop back a few yards deeper. I think that with Thiago we could play through the centre a bit more. But the one thing that when I think of Van Dijk's presence in that centre-back position, the calmness that he brings to our back four, I also think about the range of passing that we're going to be missing from Van Dijk. And as I touched on earlier on in the stream, maybe that will see us play through the centre a little bit more and use Thiago, as that outlet. So hopefully, we'll wait. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's all just guesswork until we see them on the pitch. Want to see more of Curtis Jones or Keita once fit. Fabinho at centre back. A midfield start of Thiago, Hendo, and Yaldum would be solid, said Dan Stiller. Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you've said there, mate. I want to see more of Curtis Jones and Naby Keita as well. Would you give Pilaluga a chance in the Premier League? No, not yet, man. He's only just come in, settling into a new country, a new league, a new culture, a new language. So much stuff that young Pilaluga has to get used to. Now, luckily, he has the Brazilian contingent at the club that can help him settle in and let him know the lay of the land as such. But again, I don't want to be putting too much pressure on a 17-year-old kid that's come to the club. I mean, we do have Quevian Kelleher, the young Irishman there as well, who, you know, I would like to see given an opportunity between the sticks. Coote's bank account needs to be investigated. I'm not going to go that far, and I just think he just doesn't like Liverpool. That's my take on it. Would you like to see a Spurs style like Amazon documentary on us? I would. I'm kind of under Klopp. I kind of would, you know, but it's not a Jurgen Klopp type of thing, and he's already turned it down. I think Liverpool were approached to do that or something similar to that. Now, obviously, there was the Being Liverpool documentary that was made under Brendan Rodgers. It was not great, to be honest with you. And I haven't actually watched the Spurs one on Amazon yet. I haven't got around to watching it. Right, a few more questions, ladies and gents, before we finish up. But again, don't forget, please do hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video. Do you think Liverpool will still win the league? It's going to be harder, mate. I'm not going to lie to you. But I've always backed the boys. I'm not as confident as I was a week ago, put it that way. But I think anybody would be a little bit less confident of anything without Van Dijk in the team. But of course, I believe that this group of players can do it. And if they do it, what an achievement it will be to do it without Big Virg there as well. So let's wait and see what happens. But look, it's good to be optimistic, isn't it? Have you ever heard of Pau Torres? Yes, mate, of course. I watch a good bit of Spanish football. Yeah, Pau Torres is a very good footballer. Somebody who I know that Graham Hunter thinks rather highly of as well. I remember actually speaking with him about Pau Torres in January. Again, any Everton fans that come into our chat, just kick them out straight away. I want nothing to do with Everton in any way, shape or form moving forward after the disgusting hate that I've been sent over the past 24 hours or so. So again, any Everton fans that come into the chat, just kick them out. Don't even ask a question. I don't care if their first name is Priest John Murphy O'Brien the 52nd. Just kick them out. Kick them out. Don't want that to do with them. They have I thought I'd seen it all with football fans, ladies and gents, but the last 24 hours, whew, yeah, there's some angry people out there that need a fucking hug or something. What's your top four, Craig? Again, it's really tough to pick. Liverpool, City. Oh, God, man, this is really difficult. Liverpool, City, Chelsea, United, Spurs, Arsenal. That's my top six. So the last two places, the third and fourth, United, Spurs, Chelsea. It's very difficult to say. Obviously, Everton have got off to a great start as well. I hope that they plummet down the league table and have all kinds of misery along the way. Obviously, I don't wish their players any injuries or anything like that because that's just scumbag behaviour and that isn't what I'm at. But yeah, I'm interested to see the Spurs situation, especially with Bale back there, if he can stay fit, see how they get on. And Reguilon, I think, was a very good piece of business as well. Thoughts on Ajax in the Champions League, said Hakeem. I'm so much looking forward to it, mate. I can't believe it was, the 60s, I think, since Liverpool played a competitive game against Ajax in Europe. So I'm very much looking forward to the Champions League, to playing Ajax over, twice, home and away. So yeah, it's going to be great. Bring it on Wednesday night. Not going to be easy, of course, heading over to the Amsterdam Arena, but it's the Champions League. Who doesn't love watching the Champions League? It's my favourite competition. Can you please consider doing a Football Manager series on the channel? I'm not a computer game type person, dude. We do have a PS4 and an Xbox because my kids play them, but I'm thinking about doing a FIFA career mode at some point. Can I rate Adrian's performance? I don't think he did too much wrong, to be fair. When I wanted him to put his foot through the ball, he put his foot through the ball. I don't blame him for either of the goals. A lot of people saying that he could have done better with Keane's header. I think the defending could have been better, to be honest with you. My blame there does not lie with the keeper. It lies with the marking of Michael Keane. It was straight at him, but it was straight at him from 7 yards, and it was a powerful header. So I don't have any blame. I don't have any blame for Adrian yesterday at all, to be honest, in anything. I thought he played this percentages and did everything that you'd want a keeper to do. So yeah, and a couple of good saves as well. So yeah, I have no issues at all yesterday with Adrian's performance. Salah and Mane to fire us to the title. I like that, mate. More positivity. Do I see a big centre-back coming in January? Yes, I hope so, mate. Upamecano is the obvious one that we're talking about, but will Leipzig let him go if they're in a race for the Bundesliga title, if they're still in the Champions League? I would say it's going to be difficult to wrestle him out of Leipzig in January, but, we'll have to wait and see. Really puts more doubt in VAR, Craig. Too many biased decisions. Look, I'm not going to disagree with you, mate. I was somebody who was and still is pro VAR in theory, but it's the human aspect of VAR that unfortunately seems to be the problem here. And yes, there is arguments that the technology isn't quite there yet with regards to the exact freeze framing of the camera in frames per second for when the pass is played through and stuff like that. So there's those arguments as well. Switch to a back three system. Why would we do that, mate, when we've only got 3 fit centre backs? It just doesn't make any sense. One of them gets injured, then what do? You're changing systems again, and you're down another centre back. So when you've got minimum centre backs, adding another one, or having to play with 3 is not the option I go with personally. I can't see Robbo or Trent being able to tuck in a play at centre back either. So sorry, again, there's messages coming to me. Statement, right? Statement from Virgil Van Dijk, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of breaking news here before we finish up tonight. This afternoon I met with a leading consultant to start the process of planning the finer details of my rehabilitation following the incident yesterday. I'm now fully focused on my recovery and will be doing everything I can to be back as quickly as possible. Despite the obvious disappointment, I'm a firm believer that within difficulty lies opportunity, and with God's help I'm willing to make sure I return better, fitter and stronger than ever before. In football, as in life, I believe everything happens for a reason, and it's important to try and keep level-headed whether going through the highs or the lows. With the support of my wife, kids, family and everybody at Liverpool, I'm ready for the challenge ahead. I'd like to thank everybody for the messages of support. It's meant a huge amount to me and my family, and I'll now be doing everything possible to support my teammates in any way I can ahead of a big few weeks as I take my own recovery day by day. I'll be back. Virgil van Dijk. Class as always from the big man. Said everything that you hope he would say there. Talked about his teammates. Talked about being positive in these moments. That counts for us as well as fans. As I said to you at the start of the stream, don't play into any of the negativity on social media. Don't bite when you see people having a pop at the club. Let them stew in their own bitterness. Let them stew in their own violent hate. Try take the high road where possible. Big Virg is leading the way. Let's follow his example. Get behind the lads. Get behind Matip. Get behind Gomez. Get behind Adrian. Get behind the team. And hopefully we can achieve great things as a collective moving forward. So that's pretty much where we are. Big Virg. Good way to end the stream tonight. Thank you very much as always for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the subscribe button before you head off if you haven't done so already. Drop a like on the video. Don't forget to check out the little snippet from the Paul Tompkins interview that's up talking about referees. Paul Tompkins of the Tompkins Times is, one of the foremost Liverpool minds out there in the world. So to be able to have him for that interview was a pleasure. The full interview will be out on Thursday. If you want to become a member of the channel, click the join button. It's $4.99 a month. You get all the emojis and stuff as well. Don't forget the link is there to our second channel, Mundo Sporto. I'll be doing the watch along for the United Paris Saint-Germain game on Tuesday, and I'll be back tomorrow night with another late night agenda and a preview ahead of the red strip to Ajax on Wednesday night in the Champions League. This one's really snuck up on me, by the way. Champions League back on Wednesday. I cannot wait. Busy week ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your love and support as always. I hope to see you guys soon. Take care of your families. Look out for each other. Up the Reds.